Welcome to AdSquawk, your weekly deep dive into all things advertising. Grab a drink, pull up a chair, let's talk shop. Sean, today, joined by...
I am Jody, flying... I don't want to use the second base thing again. I gotta...
You gotta come up with more.
Ooh, red 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Standing by.
Red 2, do you copy?
Yeah, I mean, I'll use the bass thing. I will say I enjoyed that. I'm Ishmael, and I dig in that bass intro, so that was
You
really
like that?
good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Dun, dun,
We got some newbies on the podcast today, so...
Yeah, 2 newbies.
Yes,
We're half new.
Yeah.
Newbie to the podcast and newbie to works.
And I'm Isabel.
All right, well, we've got a few topics to talk about today. Thank you to Isabel for sending over this one. This is actually right up Jody's
You're
alley.
welcome.
I geek out on
I
this.
saw this and was like,
good.
okay, so one, it's perfect timing on a few different notes that we'll get into, but it's the video that's been circulating, Keanu Reeves and how he animates himself during voiceover. And
He gets into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like you could just film him alone doing his voiceovers, and that'd be a movie that I would watch.
5.4 million views on this thing.
What?
No way.
Just
Really?
in-
So Chris Evans,
Yeah.
also known as Captain America,
Yes.
I know
quoted this in a tweet and was like, if this was just 2 hours and they called it,
See, I'm telling you.
and
I
they
would
called
watch
it Toy Story 4, I would go to the theaters.
yeah,
and
so I
watch
guess
it.
that's a good context. So this is voiceover that he was doing for Toy Story 4.
Right.
Yes.
So
This is my dream, by the way. If there's anybody out there that's doing any cartoon stuff that needs voice work, I'm your guy. That is my dream job is to be a animation VO specialist.
Well,
I
you
like
would
it.
I mean, you
kill
kind
at
of already are a VO
Well, no, but-
specialist,
Halfway there.
I have never done. I want to do a legit cartoon.
Cartoon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
I think you'd be great for that.
it would be so much fun.
Yep.
Jody, I think we're about to make a movie.
Hey, I'm in.
Let's do it.
The AdSquawk animated series that I've been pitching for a while.
Is it like an eagle? We have a bird is obviously the character.
Eagles are way too majestic for AdSquawk birds. It's got to be some sort of like trash bird.
Maybe it's like
Turkin.
the,
Yeah, or a turkey.
A
Yeah.
turkin.
What about a bluebird?
exactly what I was
You know?
thinking.
Bluebird. You
The fighting lady turkins. We're bringing it back.
ever seen a turkin?
I have not.
Man,
The
Well, you're
scariest
missing out.
real animal ever.
they are one of the like. If you can think of, it's gonna sound so bad. Like white trash, nasty bird. Like just in like. I'm thinking.
Perfect.
If you can think of that stereotypical, completely offensive way to insult
If you're telling me,
hardworking Americans in a bird form,
if you're telling me this bird owns a trailer home, I'm getting out.
Look at
This bird owns a trailer home.
look at that. Does that not sound like that bird's like?
That's like a rooster that lost half of its job, so it can't afford the
Yeah,
hat.
no, it's the worst parts of both animals. Is really what it is.
What
So,
do you think?
Turkin.
What do you think a turkin sounds like? Like if you cast it as a cartoon character.
The
so
American dream.
Meg had a turkin like next door.
Yeah, I know.
And it's terrifying. That's what inspired.
No, I'm
the,
saying like
the
if it
team.
were an animated character,
Oh yeah.
what would the voice be like?
I feel like you'd figure it out.
Oh, in my
I
mind,
feel like
yeah.
you'd do a good Turkin.
I was gonna say like who.
It's enough of that.
If you could cast any celebrity to play a turkin, who would it be?
Well, Gilbert Godfrey would be.
Well,
pretty
okay, you
That's
can't
pretty
use,
easy.
No, you can't use Gilbert Gottfried.
funny. Well, he's the obvious choice.
It's a tough one.
I'm thinking a female VO.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
Fran Drescher.
That's pretty spot on.
And you
Huh.
want to kill that turkin.
Yep.
Like not a little bit. Like, yeah.
So
right.
watching this video, I mean I mean one, it's Keanu, so it's obviously the best, but
Yeah.
just it. I feel like if I only heard the audio on it, like you can almost
See
see
him.
what he's doing as he's talking.
I feel like I can
Which
like
is the
picture.
beauty of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I feel like I can picture like he's animated character, and I don't even know
Yeah.
what it looks like or who he looks like, but I can tell you it's an action figure
He's
right
Duke
now.
Kaboom.
Duke
if you
Kaboom.
didn't notice from the video, that's
What I'm trying to get is I don't even know what Duke Kaboom looks like, but I have an idea, and I'm gonna try to not.
This is a new character.
Super macho.
It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've.
Oh, what's he look
Yeah.
like? I don't even know.
I'm pretty sure it's
Trying to stay away from what he looks like, so when I see the movie for the
You'll
first
be
time,
like, that's fucking
like, that's
Duke
like-
Kaboom.
something
but
to
I-
compare it to, I'm like, oh, it's
Yeah.
fucking close.
I know.
Thank you to Keanu.
So Jared, this actually translates to a conversation we were having literally right before this.
Literally
Right before
we
this.
just had this conversation.
In a meeting about podcasting with some wonderful interns.
They're more newbies than you.
Yeah.
That's true.
And you
Barely.
were talking about different
Mm-hmm.
hand gestures and how that ultimately ties into how you speak.
So I'm a super nerd. So first
What?
off, I know. First off, I want to qualify. I am a very hands-on director, specifically within the audio booth.
Mhm.
So I take people through a ton of stuff in just simple VO. Now I will say this: there is a big difference between character VO versus just doing some type of a VO. They're different, and their character VO is a lot more
They
fun.
serve different purposes.
Totally,
So,
yeah, different purposes. But the underlying element of getting your hands involved, just hands,
Mhm.
is massive. Now this comes
100%.
from like literally hundreds and hundreds of VO sessions with all kinds of different people. So there are 3 elements. I didn't wash my hands. Should have washed my hands. My hands are filthy. There are 3
talk.
elements of the hands.
You've been manual labor all day, Jody.
I've been taking apart desks and putting
Yeah.
apart desks and burying bodies. It's been
Breaking stuff.
Turkin is
Wait,
dead.
what?
Okay, so there's 3. So
Catching
you guys
tokens.
ready for this? Okay.
Ready.
So there's 3 elements. Take your hands. Okay, right. So 2 hands together facing each other. Okay. That's your baseline. Okay. So this is, I'm having a conversation. I'm not talking about anything necessarily specific, but I'm being informative. So you'll watch a lot of politicians will have both hands out and the palms will be facing each other. Now, you will typically not see this very often with politicians where the palm faces up because politicians are controllers.
It's a huge discovery.
Discovery, right?
Huge.
Right? So
Huge.
hands up, right? So now palms up, a couple of things happen. Eyebrows go up automatically. Your intonation will go up automatically. It is a question. It is I'm not really sure. So I'll do an
one of these-
illustration. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know. Shoulders go up a lot. Palms will go up. Obviously, palms will be facing the ceiling. Now, as I'm going through, let's say I'm going through a VO and I'm telling you how to do something. So I'm telling you how to make a sandwich. Now, what you want to do first, you want to take the bread and you want to set it out and you get your whatever you're going to make on top of it. If it's a turkey
butter and
sandwich,
jelly.
you got all this great stuff on here, yada, yada, yada. Now, some people could go with white bread. Some people could go with, I'm not really sure. I'm leaving this open. My intonation goes up a little bit. But then you've got this. And the palm shifts and it's typically 1 and will shift and face the audience. I'm being emphatic. The pace of my overall VO will pick up and I get a lot more emphatic. I'm like this. And typically there's some more dynamics involved. So I may go really, really fast in one section, and then I'll slow down on this one part that is super, super important. So the best speakers, specifically storytellers, really, really use their hands a lot, which is really fun to observe it and then figure it out. Okay, when their hands do X, what does their intonation do? So as you're watching something take place versus not seeing it, and you'll notice you're able to perceive teeny tiny differences. So I can do a phrase and I can read it and then I can read it again and I can ask you which one you like and you will have a favorite. The trick is, why is it your favorite?
I don't know.
There's
'Cause of
pacing
how you
involved,
said
there's
it.
dynamics involved, there's
Yeah.
intonation involved, there's all these different things involved. But being able to figure out, it's just an instrument. Being able to figure out the instrument and how to manipulate your voice to get great VO, once you dial those things in, you can literally take anybody and get them to do decent VO. So one of the things I always really like to do was I kind of figured out the game. And so I could take business owners that would come in and not have any experience being on the radio very much, or if they had experience, hopefully it was at a different group. So one of the things that I would do is I would take their old radio commercial and I would play their old radio commercial and then we would analyze it. And then when I was done with the session, I would always take their very first read and I would save it. And then I would take the very last read of when we were all done and I would do what's called, I call it cherry picking, you don't have to do the whole thing all at one time. I want to get little bits and phrases. I don't want you to focus on everything. I want you to focus on a little piece and then put it all together in post and then play it all back, and it's all one cohesive unit. And to contrast A, notice my eyebrows go up, my intonation goes up, and B, I do this a lot in VO. A or B, because you have a choice. You could do it this way or this way. Nah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to see with coaching, with understanding what you're trying to get them to do, and just those little things about acting stuff out with just your hands.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Would you say that's the biggest difference maker? So if you've got someone new in the studio who doesn't do VO, that's like the
they will
one
always
initial.
put their hand in their pocket, at least one.
Yeah.
Usually it's their left. It's crazy.
Right hand dominant usually. You think.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
They'll put their left hand in their pocket. Sometimes they'll fiddle around with keys. Sometimes somebody will hold on to a pin. I've taken pins away from a whole bunch of people, right? But I want you to focus on what it is you're communicating, not what you're reading.
Right.
Because there's a big
They're
difference.
different,
So
yeah.
when you look at Keanu Reeves and he's going through the lines, they're not just lines, man. He's reacting to something. So in that video, he's reacting to whatever the other actor, it's just a scratch read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sets up the degree of how do I present that? Like, how do I present the line? What am I reacting to? What's the right reaction? What's a reaction that's actually the character reacting, not what the line is?
Right.
And understanding that's where you really get into a ton of fun
Yeah.
on VO work, creative VO work, is getting into like a character. So like, for example, you get into the low character, like that guy. And you get like the eyes squint.
Yeah.
And the hands, I mean, even watch my hands.
Just feel it down.
It's because it goes down here. Versus like Yoda, yes, strong he is. Doing something like that where it's a totally different thing. My body straightens up. The body language totally changes versus like a pirate. So I'll do a pirate. Just do a pirate. I know this is the fun part.
Not to save my life.
Just do a pirate. Just trust me. Just do it.
Matey.
No, what like all pirates, what do they say? What letter do they love in the alphabet?
R.
Right, R. Okay, so give me an R. This is a fun exercise. Ready?
Okay.
Go.
R.
Okay, now I want you to hunch your shoulders a little bit, and I want you to squint one eye. And I want you to talk out of one side of your mouth.
R.
Oh, whoa. Where does
okay.
it go? That's
Yeah.
a pirate there.
Yeah.
Totally different. And you're just, like I said, you're just playing a character.
Consider
So
me enlightened.
if you get into the pirate, like, because I be a pirate, Jack Sparrow. Right? And for some reason, all pirates squint one eye.
Yeah.
Parents don't.
Well,
Parents, not
Some
so
of them.
much.
Some of them do.
Only the real experienced ones. What you be doing there? Get off your device. Go play outside.
I find VO fascinating because I am one of those people that would get in the studio and be like, terrible. Like it would.
I bet I could make you.
No, and I'm sure you.
make
I'm sure you
great.
could. But that's what I'm saying is I feel like traditional spoken word stuff like that's fine. But if the moment you have to get into a character, it's like
Well, and
I just.
here's the
like,
truth. Some people are gifted at it.
Yeah.
Some people aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reality is, everybody can play pretend.
Yeah.
And what honestly, the biggest factor is just play with me, man.
Well, it's getting people
Just
to loosen
play.
up.
Yeah, and most people don't.
No.
And getting a general manager of a furniture store or a car dealership or what, fill in the blank,
Yeah.
right? Getting them to have a little bit of fun as opposed to trying to be, I am an announcer. I'm trying to sound like this. Just be yourself and be likable.
Just be Mr. Movie Phone. What?
Yeah. But don't try and sound like someone that you're not, because your friends will give you shit about it, number one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And number two, that's not you.
Yeah.
So there's that authenticity component.
Yeah. And when you get business owners specifically, I'm a massive advocate of this. You don't have to be that good. You just have to be authentic.
Be
Because
yourself.
here's the deal. If you're still integrated into the day-to-day business, nobody loves talking to the owner of a store more, right? And when you if fill in the blank of, hi, I'm so-and-so, owner of Yankee, right? And you see them in the store and they come over and introduce themselves and you're like, oh my gosh, you're the guy on the radio.
Yeah.
Or you're the guy on TV, or you're... A, they love it. Like, oh, stroke my ego. But B, I love it because I feel special.
Mm-hmm.
And you're an expert at what you do.
I feel like it plays also like on transparency, because I mean it's pretty huge right now too. Like I mean we love to know like everything and everything about a company that we love, like even down to the food we eat. Like I want to know where it comes from, like what's all playing into it. And when you see the owner of a store that you frequent often, or maybe a store that you just are going for the first time, it just gives like for instance, let's say it's a store that you're going on the first time, mom and pop shop, and mom and pop are there, greeting and helping out and doing their thing. Like it's gonna change your perspective versus if you were to walk out,
people love
walk
it.
in and they weren't there, and you love it.
How you make somebody feel, right? The impression that you give, that has so much power. Whether it is in the VO work of your radio or OTT or TV, it doesn't, a YouTube video, anything, right? That impression that you give, it matters. So spend the time to make it as good as you can make it. There are people that get into the recording studio and they hate it. And for them, that is not their forte. Mm-hmm. But they fail to see, hey, there's going to be thousands of people that see this. Put in the time to do it and do it well.
Yeah.
Because this is your representation. And if you don't leave a good impression, you may have cut short my interest in your business just because I think you're a tool. And here's the thing. If you are a tool, don't do your own.
There are times where I see commercials and I'm like, that guy doesn't actually own that store.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's not him.
Yeah.
And a lot of ones that I've seen too, you can tell whether or not they've been helped out by someone who knows what they're doing, just because it's like so awkward and it feels so detached when they haven't done it before. They don't have guidance, but then compare it to something that.
Well, guidance is key, right?
Well, yeah.
Because they don't know how to,
if I didn't know how to like, act like a pirate and shrug my shoulders, I would have sounded really half-assed. So
right.
Without
and
your guidance.
When you really think about it, it's silly. It's simple. It's silly.
Yeah.
But when you're doing those things in a legitimate VO where you're not trying to be a pirate, oh yeah, I didn't notice that. What does it make a difference if I'm standing where my weight is? Yeah, actually it does. If you're on your heels versus on the balls of your feet, I can hear it in your intonation.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff that we can hear subconsciously that we don't even realize we hear it. It just leaves an impression. So I made this analogy in a meeting that we were in the other day, talking about greatness, right? The greatest baseball players, they don't just look at the ball when they're hitting. They're finding stitches on the baseball as it's being delivered at 95 miles an hour. They're hitting the stitches on the ball. Right, a golfer is hitting the teeny tiny little divot thing on the golf ball, right? And those are obviously sports analogies, but all these different things where they're not focused on this, they're focused on these teeny tiny details. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
you can focus on those things and realize what they are, and when you do, it pays dividends that are really hard, honestly, for people that don't understand that to measure. How come you're such a good hitter? Well, because you look at the ball. No, no, I look at the stitches on the ball.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you look at stitches? Really? I don't know why he's got that voice. Sounds like Kermit the Frog.
He did Kermit start playing professional baseball.
Kermit the Frog here, up to bat.
I was trying to think of who that voice was, and I was like,
it's a little bit of Kermit. That's my moron voice. hey guys.
Yeah,
it's a little Kermit, but like
takes full offense to that.
Yeah.
Kermit.
Why? I don't understand, guys. He's got a little bit of a voice crack. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I have lots of characters in my own mind.
So there's some other Keanu stuff going on in the news that I had to like chime in with.
What?
He's just quite...
I was like, he's everywhere right now.
Yeah.
So E3 happened this week, which is the Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Oh, yeah.
Every year. Which is like one of my favorite events every year. It's the big like gaming news conference. So there's this game coming out next year called CyberPunk 2077, and like the company who's releasing it made this big splash with like showing the trailer, and they had Keanu Reeves playing a character in that, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, and he's here. Oh, and by the way, and by the way, he's gonna come out and talk
from behind the stage.
So he comes out and he delivers this line about like this game's gonna be breathtaking, and this dude in the audience, you just hear one guy goes, "You're breathtaking," and it totally catches him off guard. And then there's this really authentic, sort of natural moment where he's like, "No, you're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking," and it's become this meme where it's just like Keanu Reeves just calling people breathtaking.
Of course.
And it's great. So it was.
But here's the thing. Well
The
played,
amount of press that's gotten is insane.
and that's smart. And he turned it into a great moment.
Totally.
Social media turned it into a brilliant moment.
Yeah.
And then of course everybody's smart enough to leverage it. But Keanu Reeves, I'll give him a ton of credit. I honestly don't think he gets near the credit that
No,
he's
he does
due.
not.
He is.
Especially for all the charity work he does.
He's become one of my
He's a-
favorite people in Hollywood.
He's number one. He's a great guy. Number two, when he does movies, he's all in.
Oh yeah.
If you want to see something really impressive, I'm a big John Wick fan.
Yes, me too.
So
love it.
go watch his training for the John Wick
Wick's-
films.
Ooh.
Like if it adds a layer of holy shit to that. He is no kidding.
It's intense.
And again, it goes back to it's the time that you put in with the right guidance to get good at whatever it is that you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, because that stuff's not easy. Like
In order to do that film, because it's such a high level shoot 'em up film,
Yeah.
it really does have to be that good.
Like extreme level. Like
Oh.
you're
Yeah.
watching it and you're like, doesn't this guy need a break? Like how does he go do all that in such a fast amount of time? Like I know it's a movie, so obviously like I don't know if
but
that stuff really happens
that's
in
what's
real
so
life.
brilliant
but
about that is that he's legit.
it's so
legit,
legit.
yeah.
Like I think that's the reason why it's my favorite movie of him, because he's just it's like you're in awe while you're watching it because you're like, how the hell
Well, and there's an element of the John Wick films that is,
mysterious.
yes, he's unbreakable will. Like the way that they kind of make this caricature of him, and then he delivers and some.
And his dog, the love for his dog. It's the whole second movie. And it just
Kill his dog.
I resonate.
There's always got to be some Russian guy in there.
He's always a bad guy too.
Always.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, why are the Russians always the bad guys?
Because they're the Russians.
Cold War.
I was going to say because the Cold War was a thing. Same reason why the Germans
America.
are also always bad
Yeah.
guys.
What? I work for ASPCA. Why do you have a problem with that?
What's your favorite Keanu movie? And you cannot say John Wick.
Well,
That's not fair.
Because
Matrix. Well, I don't know. He did a rom-com with Sandra Bullock. It's called The Lake House. It was
That's
back in like,
actually
That was
early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I
did not
I
expect
liked
that
it.
one to come up.
Yeah,
but okay.
that's-
yeah.
I do. Yeah,
And
that was-
maybe it's just because I'm biased. I'm a rom-com freak, and Sandra Bullock.
Wait,
for this.
did Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock did a rom-com in the early 2000s?
Well, it was like a romantic movie. I don't know that it was like
Right.
rom-com.
I wouldn't say it was a comedy.
I mean, yeah, there's parts. There's parts. There's one
Roman-
scene that I'll never forget, and I hope you know which scene it is, because he's like in the lake house and he's staring, so majestically outside the window at the lake, outside of his lake house, and he sneezes, and it's the most dramatic, overdone sneeze I've ever seen in my life. And to this
so like
day,
one of my
I have to
sneezes.
go.
I need to know if this sneeze was real or if it was not real, if he was supposed to do that, but it's just insane. And it just,
So the reason I ask that is
How great would it be if it was just like
if it was,
Natural sneeze.
Oh, that's
we're keeping it.
It's a blooper. Never mind. Just pull that blooper. We're using that scene. Remember the good old days when they used to do like bloopers at the end of the movie, like Rush Hour, show you the good
Oh, yeah.
scenes. Oh my
Jackie
god,
Chan.
yeah.
those are the best.
But go filth the fish. Go
that was my favorite.
Oh man. But I mean, just stuff like that. I mean, it's so good that it doesn't fit in the movie, but it's so good that they need to share it with the
Well, and
world.
it shows like it's literally behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So like people get to see.
I think it humanizes. Takes,
Well, yeah,
It's not
takes actors
perfect on
away from-
every.
but it's
first
unexpected.
take.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of
and
it.
it
Yeah.
takes them away from Hollywood and says like, oh, they're people just like us, and kind of just
He
make
sneezes.
their
They're
everyday
just
fuck-ups
like us.
That's the thing. John Wick, he's just like me.
John Wick,
I have
he
a dog.
sneezes and loves dogs.
I have a Mustang. I'm very deadly.
I have black hair.
I had black hair.
I always think it's hilarious
At one
when
time.
people say, "Wow, celebrities are just like us,"
Yeah.
because like. I mean, what else did you think they were?
I thought they were aliens.
I just don't know.
Some of them
but okay.
are.
Some of them are
Yeah.
freaks.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know
Some of them are weird. Real weird.
if you believe
Hey,
in
you
that
know
kind
what?
of thing.
Some of them can just get crazy like other people that are crazy. So-
All right, so I'm prepared to take some flack on this.
Okay.
I'll Walk in the Clouds.
Oh.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite,
Oh.
but
Whoa.
I love his character.
Can you remind me of the plot of that
So
one?
that's the
Yeah.
one where he's selling chocolates. He's come home from the war, and he's selling chocolates, and he ends up at a vineyard. And
Okay.
he defends this gal's honor on a bus. These guys are being jerks, and he defends this gal's honor, and her family, I think it's from Spain, and they both get kicked off the bus. And he's like, oh,
And then he falls in love with
and
her.
then it's this storyline of him discovering this family, and it's amazing, and it's just, I liked the movie. And then there's this, I'll just ruin it for you, like where he,
I think 25 years is enough to like
that's
of a spoiler.
That's fair in.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, it's pretty typical. The story arc it's really predictable, but it's just, I just love his character. I mean, I love the character. He's just a good guy, but I think he always does a pretty darn good job of picking those roles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't think of any time where he's in a movie where he's a total douchebag.
So
What?
I was
Just
I
so
don't know
my
how much
movie
you'd
predates
sell it
yours.
either.
Are you doing Bill and Ted's?
No, not that early. Speed.
speed. God damn it.
But if you would have told me that Keanu Reeves would be an absolute phenom that he is now,
Yeah.
just
right.
after seeing
after
Bill and
seeing
Ted.
Bill and Ted, you'd be like, oh,
Was Bill and Ted his first movie?
yeah.
Do you guys remember when they came out with those Squarespace commercials?
Yeah.
With Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were really good.
On the
Those were-
motorcycle and like in front of the campfire, and I thought they were just so bizarre, but
They were.
I was
They were
just like,
super bizarre.
all right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna remember this.
Dude, the technical side of that, of shooting it, was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Like, how the hell? That's awesome.
and it just he was just like the perfect guy
Because he
such a like commercial.
he owns a motorcycle company, right? That's what was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
stems.
Isn't he part owner of it?
That's what I'm saying. He
Yeah, yeah.
owns that. So
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
was the tie-in
was
to
like,
the commercial.
yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
from my company.
Yeah, no. It was because it was a Squarespace commercial, but it was about the
Yeah.
theme was him building a website for his company.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
GQ did a cover on that where they interviewed him and he showed him around like his shop and stuff
Yeah.
and all the bikes, and it was really cool.
So I'd like to go have a beer with him.
I was gonna say he's
I
one of
would-
those
Yeah.
celebrities that I
Like, just tell me about your life, dude. Tell me
every
about
story that I hear about
Tell me
him,
about
like
your day.
randomly running into fans, it always like there's never a bad
Yeah.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always really positive. It's very, I don't know, Bill Murray-esque in terms of
Oh.
like
Bill Murray.
randomly.
Ba-da-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Good old
Get me
Bill.
started.
Have you guys seen the cameo he did in a rom-com that just came out on Netflix?
I'm guessing you like rom-coms.
I do. I love them, but that's beside the point.
What's your favorite rom-com of all time?
All time.
Oh
All
my
time.
god! Don't do that to me.
Yep.
Oh shit.
You can do one of your top fives. I don't want to put a
Fives?
ton of pressure on you.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Skip
if we're
it.
taking it,
But it
old
is
school,
recorded.
It can be any. Yeah.
It's
Shoot off three you like.
I mean, Pretty in Pink
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Old school.
is like one of my tops. Yeah.
Wow. That unexpected.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's
See
how I
Isabel in a
roll.
whole new light.
Molly Ringwald. I mean, she was my
God,
she was my baby.
I had such a crush
I mean,
on
I
her.
was only like 4 when it came out, but
I was not. And I had a crush.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
no.
Wait a minute.
That's not right. You weren't
There
four.
was.
I wasn't 4.
I was like, no.
I was younger.
Younger.
Very.
I don't think you were
it was
alive.
probably
Were
10
you
years
alive?
before you were born. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like late 80s, right?
I was like, I wasn't born
Just
for
kidding.
Pretty in Pink.
Pretty in Pink's like,
I was testing you guys to see if
Yeah.
you knew
Yeah.
how
Late
old
80s?
I was.
I'm going to say 87.
I'm gonna say 88.
You're right.
86.
See how close I am.
86.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it does predate me.
Ishmael
I
with
was
the
close.
win.
By
So
a year.
86, I was 11.
Ooh.
Just knocking
Little
on the door.
banjos.
Just knocking on the door to puberty.
Yeah.
Okay,
Going,
but
hey,
First crush.
Gosh.
Huh?
there's this rom-com that
There's
just
your
came out
curve.
on Netflix,
you're a douchebag.
What's it called?
and it's called Always Be My Maybe. I think. Yes,
That's
I didn't watch
confusing.
all of it. I wasn't super impressed with it, to be honest. But
Keanu's in it?
Keanu's in it.
He is?
Always Be My Maybe?
Yeah, he plays
I'm going to say that
the
completely out of context.
That's a good point. You should always be my maybe.
Call me
It's
maybe.
a confidence booster.
Yeah.
And he plays like a boyfriend of the main female lead, and he is just so outrageous in that movie. He like plays himself. He plays as Keanu Reeves. So they're
Oh,
all
he
like-
does?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
So
Oh, that's
he's
even better.
Oh, I
he's
love
all
that.
they're all really starstruck when they see him, and they're like, "How the hell are you dating Keanu Reeves?" And
No way.
well, she's like, I think in the movie,
Look, that's
I think in the movie she's like
That's funny.
really. I think she's a successful like restaurant owner / manager. I don't know, but she's in some kind of the food industry. Anyway,
How the hell?
they have this part between the two of them where it's just like this like sensual romantic part, but the dialogue is just so crazy. They're like, I missed your face, and the other guy's like, I missed your face. He's like, I miss the way you sleep at night. I miss the way you chew your food. It's just like, I can't remember the lines exactly,
That's true
but
love.
they hold, like, I can't even hold a straight face while I'm saying it. And of course he holds a straight face the whole entire time.
he's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'cause he's-
Yeah, and he plays just like this celebrity kind of like douchebag, but like
that doesn't fit. him.
everybody loves him
Oh, God.
regardless.
There are so many.
Instead of the guy who plays against the female lead. So this guy is
really?
like sitting at the table, hates Keanu Reeves at this point because he's like, he's dating the girl in my dreams.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
you gotta hate Keanu Reeves. What do you do to compete?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you compete with Keanu
How-
Reeves?
how-
And they're
how
at this
do you?
like,
Yeah, you don't.
even fair.
Here's a-
you just don't. You always lose.
Probably why that guy killed his dog. You know,
Probably.
I mean,
took his girl and just.
That's just not even fair.
this
for
guy
us mere
in
mortals.
the third
Yeah.
movie had everybody out to kill him, and he still won.
Don't tell me that.
How did you go from rom com to spoiling John Wick 3? Jesus, Isabel, come on.
Podcast is done.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
You guys knew that. John
like
Wick
to-
doesn't lose.
I'd like to transition this into a wonderful parenting moment.
Oh, great.
So my son is 12, and he loves violence because he's 12. So for some reason, I am like, man, I get this. this is you'll like this, right?
Okay.
I get this deal through my iTunes deal, and they're like, hey, you can get the pack of both John Wick 1 and 2 for only $9.99.
How do you say no to that?
And I'm like,
Yeah.
done, right? So I'm like, I really want to watch these movies, but Logan is like, hey, Dad, what are we doing tonight? And I was like,
Watching John
son,
Wick 1 and 2.
it's time you become a man.
Yeah.
How old are you again?
So we watched John Wick and John Wick 2 back to back.
Yeah. How do you hold up?
He
Did you throw up?
Dude, he loved it. So have you seen him?
Yeah.
John Wick 2?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you know in the second one where he does the pencil thing? So I'm like, and my son leans over and he gets like, Dad, chill out.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, he just stabbed that guy in the back of the head with a pencil. Oh,
Is that scene worse, or is the scene in Dark Knight
Oh, with the Joker
with
and the
the
pencil.
Joker and the
The
pencil?
pencil.
I
I
think
don't
that
know.
one's the
That one's
worst
worse.
scene.
because he's
Yeah.
because he's a crazier character.
Yeah.
The psychology of that.
God, that
that's
was
way
such a
worse.
good scene.
That
That was an amazing. The whole thing was a good scene.
I know he was, Joker's the bad guy in that, but oh my gosh,
He was
that,
my hero.
Yeah.
That, yeah, just that performance
Show
of
you a magic
Joker was
trick.
just amazing.
I don't know.
disgusting.
It's so good.
Because he's a psycho.
Just wait
he's
till you see
crazy.
John Wick 3.
So here's the thing.
There's
I got
some
to
scenes
no.
in that
I gotta
that
take-
are like,
I gotta-
close your eyes.
really. I got to take a 12-year-old to it.
Good luck with that.
Well, he'll be fine.
I
If
was like, he's probably seen worse.
Yeah, he's probably going
Yeah.
to be fine.
He plays Fortnite all the time.
Yeah, he's
But-
definitely heard worse.
There,
By the way, I looked up and that deal's no longer available, or else I was about to buy it. It's now $14.99 for
FYI.
John Wick 1.
Yeah, it's all about timing.
Yeah.
Well, but
Thanks for telling me.
Again.
that.
Yeah.
smart to get that stuff out there. Prime the pump for John Wick 3.
Well, you
Oh,
bundle
yeah.
it before, and then the moment
yeah.
the movie's out, you
Triple the
take-
price.
Yeah, you triple
Yeah.
the price because everyone will want to go back and.
Oh yeah.
There's your marketing nugget for
All
the
the
day.
There it is.
You're welcome.
yeah, see,
Um,
now I want to watch all 3 of them in a row.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of surprises
There'll be a
me that you're a
trilogy.
John Wick fan.
Box set.
I
I'm sure.
love.
See, there's little
Oh.
nuggets. There's little nuggets about people that you discover, and you're like, I did not know that about you.
Talking
You
about
just wait.
just box nugget all together. That Avengers scene. You guys seen that?
Yeah.
They're thinking about the whole Avengers bundle.
I want to
is that
watch
for
them
real?
all in
Son of
order.
Avengers movie?
Originally, I had heard they were going to do an
What was
Infinity.
it 22 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
the Infinity Saga box set. But
How much is that?
here's the problem. that I have with
Hundreds.
this, right? So you get that, right?
Then what?
There's already movies that have been released that will not be included in that, or at least Spider-Man that comes out next month.
Yeah.
Are you excited for that?
Oh, I'm so excited.
But that doesn't
stoked.
precede any
Mysterio.
of. Right?
No. But it's like we're still in phase 3. Phase 4 has not started yet,
There's
and
another phase?
there's going to be.
I guess there's another round of Avengers, right?
Yeah, they haven't announced the next Avengers movie, but Spider-Man, Homecoming, and
Far From Home.
or Far From Home. Sorry.
So who's the big villain in the phase 4?
Chris Pine.
They haven't.
right?
No. It is?
Does he put? No, it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal for in the new
Oh, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man plays Mysterio.
That's pretty
Yeah.
funny, by the way.
I love it. I love it. Well, so,
Little twist.
funny
Danny
full
Darko.
circle. He was originally supposed to play Spider-Man back when Tobey Maguire did,
That's what I thought.
and then he got
He got the kissing scene.
yeah.
Wait, who got the kissing scene?
Gyllenhaal.
He
Yeah.
played it?
Yeah, that's his face that gets kissed when he's upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realize.
You
I
know
guess
that?
I didn't
Know that?
realize
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that either.
So they,
Which
I
is,
guess
again, pretty funny.
that is
Well, I've
funny.
always laughed at the Tobey Maguire series, even though it's my
I-
Spider-Man. Cause that's around the time
I don't know.
it's the Spider-Man I grew up with.
One and
probably
two were
the-
really good.
Yeah.
3 doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Just like X-Men 3.
Was horrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
I
There's
just
a 3.
just block that out of your memory.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
It's just,
Jody, what's your favorite rom-com?
Oh,
Isn't it a heavy question?
this one's
It is.
easy. This one's actually
I actually have an easy answer for this.
I'm embarrassed.
you
for
go
this
first.
one.
So mine is recent. It's The Big Sick.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
I haven't seen that either.
I fucking love that movie.
Really?
That was cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think
man.
rom-coms have evolved into this new culture where it's just like, I mean, I don't really know how to put this into words, but it's always been like, it's less predictable nowadays.
Okay.
And it's a very like the actors or the characters that are portrayed in the movies and their like plot lines, storylines are very unconventional considered, like compared to what back in the day rom-coms
Harry Met
were
Sally.
like. Yeah, Harry Met Sally, and what's that other one with the emails?
You got mail.
You've
Got
got mail.
Yes.
While you were sleeping.
Yeah.
That's
Sleepless in Seattle.
that's a classic.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
very
let's see.
different now. Like the one there's one that-
Underworld. That's a classic rom-com.
Totally.
Yes.
1 or 2.
Definitely the first.
Forbidden love between vampires and werewolves. What
doesn't
else
get
could you
any
have?
better.
Yeah, like
That's pure love.
that
That
is
is
the definition of a rom-com.
Yeah.
Serendipity. It's one of my favorites. I think.
John
Yeah.
Cusack.
Good
I
one.
love John Cusack.
The proposals.
Oh, actually, you know
One of
what?
Oh my gosh,
Better
Ryan
Off Dead.
Reynolds.
Okay.
I'm classifying that.
Wait,
You're
what?
classifying Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets the girl. And he's got a kick-ass Camaro.
That's like saying
It's like saying
I'm
Transformers is a
blanking.
rom-com.
It is.
That's like saying that
Number one.
If you
Number
try,
one,
Megan
exactly.
Fox is hot.
Yeah.
are you gonna
that's
try and
true.
like throw Die Hard as a Christmas movie in here?
Yes.
No, absolutely not. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
John McClane
it is
is
like-
Christmas movie.
I knew immediately what you were trying to go for there, and no, I don't accept it.
It's like, is it Vin Diesel? No.
No.
It's the other guy that I never know what his name is, and I always think it's Vin Diesel, but it's not. But no, it's not a Christmas movie.
Tell me, what day does Die Hard 1 take place on?
Okay, you know I'm not good at that,
Dun,
clearly.
dun, 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 dun,
I believe it's
Christmas
Eve.
I think it's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
That's another great movie, though.
Die Hard.
Die Hard?
It's great.
Ho ho ho! Now I have a machine gun.
Oh.
That's a
For
great line.
action.
That's my
It's
little
not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off of the tower.
boy. Is that not a great bad guy name?
Yeah.
Hans
Hans.
Gruber.
Isn't
Hans-
that
yeah.
Hans
Hans
Doofenshmirtz is the
Gruber.
Phineas and Ferb
Oh yeah.
evil guy?
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Maybe
you gotta
that's
vote
not
for
his
that.
name. Maybe it is. Fact check me.
What? It's
Hans?
Doofenshmirtz.
Is
I don't
it
know if his
Hans
first name is
Doofenshmirtz?
Hans. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all trying to melt your brains.
I don't think anything compares to SpongeBob. I'm 21 years old and I still make SpongeBob.
SpongeBob?
references.
That's because Ren and Stimpy was not in your...
Ren and Stimpy was not a kids' cartoon, regardless of the channel that it aired on.
What?
That's
There are
Here's- okay.
millions of children that form their...
I've got to
Skewed
I've got to
worldview.
raise just a little bit of beef here.
What? Over Ren and Stimpy?
Yep. So,
I mean, you already started with the Die Hard, so.
yep, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So this goes back to my childhood.
Can I just say this? You fat-blooded idiot!
So here's
welcome.
here's my issue. Okay. Like 6-year-old Sean, not allowed
Need say no more.
Yeah.
to watch Beavis and Butthead or
Well-
any of the other things.
That's appropriate.
Oh, and fucking that one is.
Wait, is
like-
that what 6-year-old Sean said?
Yeah.
That's why you couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
'Cause you said the F word.
I'm just saying. Rocco's Modern Life apparently was appropriate, and
No.
so was
No.
Ren and Stimpy. But it's again, it was a perception thing
Oh, it's totally a perception.
where it's like, oh, these are-
MTV will rot your brain.
where it's this is on
Oh.
Nickelodeon, it's fine, and I'm
It's-
like,
Exactly.
I went back
Cartoon
and watched
Network.
an episode of Rocco's Modern Life recently.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I get it. I get why like
People
I
don't
love
like
I'm
it.
completely a messed up adult. It's because like the crazy shit in these
Ren and
cartoons
Stimpy
was written by an extremely
Love.
jaded adult.
But I think that,
Like someone who very much wanted to
That
like,
can
mess up an
easily-
entire
Yikes.
generation.
that can easily go to any animated series, movie.
Yeah, no, of
anything.
course, but-
I even went back and watched Pinky and the Brain, and I was like,
Pinky the Brain is great.
Yeah.
what did he just say though? Like, what the-
No, and they like Animaniacs. There was some very
Yeah.
like
What we're going
adult
to do
themed
tonight, Brian?
jokes where it's like,
Oh.
okay,
The
Yeah.
same thing we do every day, Pinky.
Yeah.
Try to take over the world.
let's transition.
Let's get it.
All right, here's my transition. You ready for this?
Yep.
So there's some things that I didn't know about you.
Yes.
A, you hate rom-coms. B,
Clearly.
I'm just kidding. You love John Wick.
I do.
And you love violence. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Never.
I mean, my dad is so my mom's big on rom-coms,
Mm-hmm.
but my dad is big on action films. Like he won't watch a movie unless there's action in it.
I like your dad.
So
Sounds like a cool guy.
I kind of had the best of both worlds.
You're right. So here's my transition. You ready for this segue?
Yes.
A lot I didn't know about you because you're new to the agency world.
Yes, I am.
Da-na-na.
As a matter of fact.
Duh.
So, what is something that as you have gotten into the agency world that has surprised you?
Surprised me.
Yeah.
I think it's how
First
much-
off, do you want to give a little bit of background?
Sure.
Because there's people out there that are like, "Who the hell are you,
Yeah.
John Wick fan?"
Who am I?
Yeah. So
Who
give us a
loves
little, give us a little
rom-coms?
background.
Okay. Well, my name is Isabel.
Hi, Isabel. A recent graduate
I
from
just
university.
graduated from a university back in May.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot what month it was.
Back in
Last month,
Back
yeah.
in, way back.
All the way back.
I don't know
last
if you
month.
guys remember this, but
Way back when.
I can recite the entire John Wick trilogy,
This is
but I
before
can't
John-
remember what month it is.
Yes,
graduate?
that's exactly who I am. I still haven't got my degree in the mail, so maybe I didn't. Who
Overrated.
knows?
Just goes in a frame on a wall somewhere, or in my case, in a
I'm
box.
trying to remember if I ever even got mine.
I mean, when I got like a empty frame,
Isn't that awesome?
I
It's the
was
best.
like, "Wow,
What do I do with this?
like how much is
so-
tuition, and I can't even get the diploma the day
so
of.
great." I
just
mean,
have that
so
half
much
second
debt.
of like,
You guys
am I
can't
not
work that out?
graduating?
Yeah.
Like,
Fix
wait, I'm
it,
gonna get one,
America.
right?
Yeah.
Way to go! Way to go, academia.
Yeah, like you're sure I'm gonna get one.
Maybe you guys should hire somebody to help you out with that.
Yeah, well,
All right, so you graduated with a degree in.
marketing. I started working in agency culture back in March, so a couple months before I graduated. Oh, right, it's June. That's why you guys.
And
No.
welcome to the podcast.
And we're glad you could join us.
It's been a long
We just
week.
wrapped up talking about John Wick.
Okay, anyway. So yeah, it's been about 3 months.
It's June?
What? Shit!
Where is it?
Halfway
My
through
admissions test is way overdue.
Yikes. Yeah, I'm
June.
not.
Sure you showed up for graduation? Like, oh, that's
I
not
don't.
till May.
I mean, I don't remember it. If we're talking
I have
honesty
something going on
here.
this weekend.
That's true. Yeah, my graduation night was.
You were there for
Yeah,
mine.
I think.
You saw me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Not surprised she doesn't remember now that it's June. It's all coming together now.
well, I don't know what else. School is was my life.
Mm-hmm.
Consumed all of my time. I mean,
Right.
I tried to have a social life. It kind of worked here and there, but
Little
homework.
pockets.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so
mostly
you
just,
you graduate,
homework.
you transition into the real world.
The real world.
What's your impression of No Kid and Legit agency world?
I love it.
Mhm.
I was fortunate enough while I was still in school, like as a sophomore, junior, to meet people who are already in the industry and hang out with them and tour different agencies. So I had an idea of what it was like, and that's what made me so passionate about it. So kind of now being in it, I don't think it's hit me yet. I keep telling people that because I'm like, but am I? Am I working here? Are you sure? So, but I've enjoyed it a lot. It's super cool to enjoy the people you work with.
Well,
Enjoy being around them. That's a new thing. I mean, I definitely had marketing jobs throughout school, and I've learned a ton, and I did work with specific people that I enjoyed. But as a part-time student, it's different. And being an intern, I mean, I was like always an assistant or an intern. So now I'm like the
Not
big
getting
deal.
coffee anymore.
So that's been kind of like an adjustment, but in a like positive light. People also not calling me like intern or millennial, even though I'm not a millennial.
are you younger
Wait,
than
You're
a
the
millennial?
step below millennial.
I'm not sure how that.
God.
I'm a Gen Z.
You pre-millennial.
I get millennial,
Like
and
that?
I'm like, is that even a slang, like
Is
a
that
bad
even-
word
Is that
anymore?
I think
Like,
it's an. I
I be
mean,
offended?
my last job, not my last job, 2 jobs ago, I was introduced as the millennial.
I don't know if I've
Before
ever
my
heard
own
the word
name.
millennial used without just a little bit of spite behind it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
It's
of course.
definitely
Yeah.
spiteful, and
Yeah.
you
Especially
feel
from
it,
the
and
mouth
you
that's coming
just
from
have
the
to
age
like
of them.
swallow
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Millennials. And it's like, actually, younger than that.
Actually-
So,
Are you a millennial?
oh, I'm, yeah.
You're in the middle of it, right?
87. So millennials were 82 to 82-ish
To
to
2001-ish?
99, I believe. Because then
Well, they said a couple like 2000, 2001. They're thinking about classifying that as millennial, though. So
Who's the board of
Right.
classifying?
I'm just saying, 20
people?
years
I
is
figured
a
that
bit
out.
of a it's a bit of a
Census
gap for,
government.
or it's a big like range.
It is a
for
huge range.
generation, because someone born in 01 and me being born in 87, 2 totally different people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which is kind of
Who
interesting.
knows?
So we have 4 new interns. Not you.
Not
Yeah.
me.
Not you, not Isabel.
That's right.
You're an
as of
official
yes,
employee.
as of Tuesday.
But it was
Yes,
interesting
yes.
talking to them and kind of seeing their age and just their whole idea, their worldview of what their normal is. Like they've always had crazy, amazing technology.
I do think
Yeah.
there's 2 interns who are older than you, by the way.
Yeah, there
There
is.
Yeah,
I was like,
No, there's
That's-
one. I think one
They are
of
true
them
millennials.
who I graduated with.
oh, okay.
He's a couple years older than me, but I think everyone else is either
there-
my age or younger.
Yeah, I think there's a 22-year-old.
The things that they grew up with.
I am 22 though, and like
Oh, okay, that counts. Okay, no, that's 21.
Wait. Who's
22 in a month is
Oh.
21.
yeah,
You don't
but
even know
like
how math
I'm
works.
she
Wait, are you
maybe
sure, though?
turned
'Cause you thought it
22
was-
this year. I'm turning
Listen,
22 this
Sean,
year.
she's not all that good with months.
That's right. Okay.
Timing is
Let's-
not my forte.
You know what? We're gonna round up.
Gonna just, no, that's fine.
For all we know, she could be coming up on 23.
She's in
Can we
her.
please round down? Like,
She's in her early 20s.
Yeah.
I have early onset amnesia.
Oh, God.
I think, but I can't remember.
I'm long past the days of rounding up when it comes to my age.
Oh, I round way down.
Yeah. Yeah, about 15 years.
About a couple decades.
Wow. That was equally.
Decade.
Yeah.
You got a smart ass over
I'm
here.
feeling some ageism right now.
Yeah, you
know
should.
what?
God, you guys are like. I'm like, are you millennials? I'm like,
It's okay. You could be.
oh, you old person.
It's okay. Every time someone has brings up a topic about,
You probably
you know,
eat
like,
gluten.
oh, my kids do this,
I love
or, you know, oh, this happens. I'll be like, oh, my mom does the same thing, and it's like,
Not the same.
you should just shut up next
Not your
time.
mom.
Yeah,
Oh, speaking
It's-
of, Isabel gave me grief earlier for being a Costco
you're
proud
such a
member.
Costco
Dude, that's
dad.
part of-
You're dead. Yeah.
That
And-
is awesome.
Do you notice what I'm talking about?
Listen,
I've been
He's
compared
like,
to worse.
I'm an exclusive member.
Whoa, I said executive, not exclusive.
Whatever, same thing.
yeah, they're not exactly the same.
Yeah, get it right.
Speaking
Come
as
on.
an exclusive executive member, he's got some making up to do.
All right. It's like the other day.
Don't
I went
ever
to
Costco shame me.
Yeah.
Costco is a thing of beauty.
I'm proud.
Costco's in my family. Okay, so I can appreciate it. I love it too. But he's like, The other day I went to Costco and I got this great deal on
People
these
get
chicken
excited about it?
bowls.
It was relative. What can I say?
Listen, you know what?
It's my job to give you shit.
I'll take it.
That's part of growing up.
It
Is
is.
getting excited about getting a good deal
I don't
on
wanna
chicken
grow
bowls.
up.
Well, I hate to break this to you. Spoiler.
I'm just kidding. I've been
It's
growing
coming.
up forever.
It
It's
is.
coming, but I think working. We were talking about this earlier. Working in ad agency keeps you young.
It does.
Ooh,
It does.
It does.
It really does. And
you
like,
gotta stay up to to
Up
what's
to
new.
date.
Up
We
to
talk
date
about
with
The
everything.
Bachelor all the time.
Yeah, I can't get behind that one. That
well,
one.
even Eddie has made
Pop
comments
culture.
about he knows people who are his age where they'll make comments and he's like, God,
That was
like
bad. Yeah.
we're not that old yet. Like
Yeah.
we're not like. But I think he recognized.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. Like,
happens.
Well, and there's some people who I think age
And
a
it
little
sneaks
bit
up on you.
quicker. But yeah,
I don't want to be the guy that doesn't know he's old.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Like I don't want to be that
Yeah,
guy
it's the worst.
where you're like, and then
Just
everybody
don't
makes
wear
fun.
skinny
Old guy.
jeans.
What?
Just don't wear skinny jeans.
Oh, okay.
Older men that wear like tight skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans.
Like I think you've
No.
outgrown that.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
No, you will never catch me in skinny jeans.
Okay.
Not even in an outfit. And I like to dress up. Like Halloween time. Anytime I can dress up, I take advantage of it. Skinny jeans,
Not on
gonna,
the list.
Not going to ever be a thing.
What if you're trying to dress up as a millennial one year for Halloween?
I just won't show up.
Oh, well played, sir.
Ooh.
Boom.
Full offense taken.
Oh.
Thank you.
As a
Non-millennial.
non-millennial,
Thank
millennial.
Well, as a
As
millennial,
a real millennial, yeah, I can appreciate it. So,
same.
yep.
Millennial with an old soul, but I'll take it.
you. All right, so back to what we were originally talking about.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So getting into
Costco.
Costco. Getting into the agency world, there's expectations. There's
Yeah.
things that are done. Honestly, I don't think there's very many other businesses that do things the way that we do it.
No.
No.
Right? I mean, there's not, and people tease me about it, but they're like, "Oh, how was work today?" I'm like, we did this thing, and hey, we had this work function, and I was drinking it like whatever time it is, and they're like, "What?"
That's
But-
work.
There aren't very many businesses where you can, in the middle of the day, go have a drink and come in and do something like this.
Yeah.
That's true.
Very, very few. I don't know. I just think it's a cool observation. Our job is to be relevant. Our job is to be
Creative.
creative,
Bold.
to be excellent. There's all these things. So as you're getting into going from academia to the real deal, what are the things that you're like, the things that maybe surprise you, the things that didn't surprise you, maybe even that disappointed you, that you're like, man, I thought it was going to be like this and it's not. It's more of this.
Well, I mean, I don't think I have any disappointments.
Yet.
Yet.
Give us
Stay tuned.
I mean, there's a keg in the kitchen, so that's kind of cool.
There's also a keg downstairs.
Having like a good relationship with people you work with. I know I kind of spoke to that earlier, but that's kind of cool to actually be
Culture.
friends. The culture,
Oh.
definitely being able to kind of like talk about really anything. I mean, obviously you still need to maintain a level of appropriateness, but
You should take notes.
yeah, Ishmael.
Quit
this?
insulting me.
That's how I bond, JD.
I mock you out of love.
That's true.
It is.
Yes.
Just waiting for
I had
it
a
back,
professor
you know?
in college who would always say, "We tease the ones we love."
There is truth to that statement. 'Cause-
Yeah.
And
And I know
Yes.
just who you're talking about.
Yes,
and I
because
can
we
just-
went to the same school and we had the same.
I will
professor.
defend this until the day I die. I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Because
It
if
is
I
true.
don't like you, I will not waste my time messing
My
with you.
humor, my jokes. I mean,
Yeah.
those are
There's a limited
good
supply.
ones.
Yeah.
anyway.
I
But
might, I agree with that. I might not be all that, but I think something
Ooh.
of my time and my humor, and if I choose to share it with you,
special.
I like you.
That's a good thing.
There you go, Jody.
Thanks.
True feelings come out.
Oh, let's sing some Kumbaya later.
Nah, I'm busy.
What would you give advice?
Network the hell out of every opportunity that you possibly can when it comes to advertising,
100%.
because it's all about relationships with the people in the industry and with the clients. I mean, I didn't know a whole lot of the client relationship aspect coming into it just because I never worked in an agency before this. And I've learned a lot about it and how important they are. I mean, everybody knows, like, obviously clients are important because they pay you.
That's important.
But kind of like the effort and the guidelines, I guess you could say, that it takes to maintain a solid relationship with your client. It's really impressed me to see, I guess, how that works out. Cause
It's a lot of effort and intentionality.
Yeah.
yeah,
It doesn't
it's
happen
very
by accident.
intentional.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what I love about it is because it speaks to a lot about the culture as an industry, but also the people who work in the industry, and kind of like, I guess, what they do for their job and what they're passionate about. So
To pick it apart, what is the value of an agency?
to me, it's always been diversity in work. I guess speaking from as an individual person that works in an agency, it's always different. I mean, I've worked in marketing positions, like in-house for a specific company. And although I learned a lot and I gained a lot of, knowledge and skills out of that, it was the same all the time. And it gets to a point, like, I could only really stay in that job for about a year before I was bored.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it just means like,
That's the fabric that you're
happens.
cut from, though.
Yeah.
Which that fabric is what makes good agency people.
yeah,
Is the people the same person that can't do that because they get bored too fast? They love the agency world because they're never doing the same thing.
yeah, it's always different. And I think being on the creative side, especially for me, having like advisors who work in agencies for years and seeing the kind of stuff that they're able to do is so inspiring, because I'm like, I want to be that someday, and I want to be able to think of those things and see things in that light, in that perspective. So I don't know, I've just really enjoyed it.
Network.
I agree.
Network.
I have my job because of networking.
I do too.
That's it.
I asked after I got hired about
See, you left that door way open.
Yeah.
I still don't know what you do.
Yeah. It's under the bridge.
to be honest.
Who is that guy?
But yeah, I asked for feedback for my interview just because I was curious. I mean, you never really hear the other side of things.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we knew you. Like, you were a familiar face.
What are those things that you can do to give yourself an edge?
Yeah,
Networking, get
Yeah.
LinkedIn, like
exactly.
go to all the things and just be around. Get your name in there
Yeah.
because
I
it
was
matters.
like that annoying student that was like, can I grab a coffee with you? Or like, can I come to your office and meet the people that work there? And I'm sure I've gotten a lot of like, not even people responding back to me, but
Annoying students turn into superstars in the biz.
yeah,
do.
you got to be
The
like,
most
driven.
annoying students
Yeah.
are the ones that are asking all the questions
Yeah.
because they're serious and they turn out to be like, can you imagine Eddie as a,
Jeez.
Oh God.
yeah.
He talks about it frequently.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's funny to me. So I've had a lot of students over the years, be like, hey, let's grab coffee or whatever. And that's fine. And I love doing it and just spending an hour. But I don't know if I've more than once or twice ever had that same student follow up after that initial.
Oh yeah.
Right? So when I think back to when I first met you, it's like I remember when you came in and you shadowed Sam, and then I remember when you seeing you at multiple events that we had.
I
and
applied
it was,
to the internship as many times as I could, and I never got it.
but it's you found your foot in the door,
Yeah.
right? It worked out in the long run.
Yeah. And a lot of, I mean, from what I've heard from other people or other students, like especially at the end of senior year, everybody's freaking out.
Oh yeah,
We have to
'Cause we're
find a
like,
job.
Yeah, what do we do now?
What the
and
hell?
everybody was
It's like they
so
told them last minute. But
yeah,
they didn't know
mind
when
blown.
they assigned to college.
Yeah, everyone was so mind blown that I had a job and what I wanted to do before I graduated. And I'm like, it's really not like, yeah, that's great. I am happy about it too, but
everyone waits to the 11th hour to start applying for jobs.
Looking for
I
them.
started my sophomore year.
I'm gonna pay you a giant compliment. You make the assumption that you're normal. You're not.
Yeah, and that's
Oh, wow.
no, that's an insight.
That is.
And this is a really big deal. So same deal. When I was in college, I had a professor, and he was awesome professor, but he made that comment, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
There is so much truth to that. We all operate out of this idea of who we are, and we assume that well, isn't that normal?
Yeah.
And the reality is, no.
Yeah.
So I would say you're on this end of the scale in terms of drive and getting out there. You know what you want, and you're doing the due diligence to go figure out, how am I going to do this? I mean, you've been in the circle of discussions for a while.
Yeah.
We knew who you were, and when we were talking about hiring you. So already a step ahead. So as somebody graduating college, if your name recognition is already in that conversation,
Yeah.
It's big.
it's huge.
Well, and to speak to that, like, I am a self-taught graphic designer. I didn't go to school for it. I didn't get a degree. Nobody taught me in a classroom how to do anything. So I was going up against a lot of other students who had a graphic design degree. And I can tell you now, like, my work is probably not as technical or as efficient as it could be compared to another student who has been going to school for it and has been doing it way more than I have.
Right.
But I'm trying to find where I was going with this, but
I don't necessarily want to hire the one that's the most technical. I want to hire the one that wants it.
right.
most.
I can teach you all of that stuff. It's just computer programs,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not rocket
Yeah.
science.
Yep.
In all
I mean,
honesty,
some of it has to
YouTube's a
do
great
with-
teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, to be really blunt, I want to find the people that are a good fit for the company. I want to find the people that have a drive that
Can't
will
teach
go learn.
ambition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can't
exactly.
teach ambition.
I'm not the type of person that really, like,
Keeps track of months.
that too. I need a calendar.
And I'm the
Sorry,
You guys are just after me today.
we love you.
See? We stayed. Good thing we established that before that.
I recognize that it's, like, hard to start conversations with people, especially people that are, like, in the industry that you're trying to get a job to. It's really awkward, and you have to put yourself out there, and
do.
like, you have to, like, walk up to them and initiate a conversation and be persistent and buy them coffee and, like, all this other stuff. But it's like, I'm definitely not that type. I'm so shy, and I'm like, it was hard for me to do that too. But once you talk to one person, it's like a domino effect. You are able to, like, hey, once you establish a conversation, you're like, I've done this before where I was like, I just want to come in and see a day in the life of your agency. Like, what do you guys do? I mean, if you have the time, and everybody that I've established a conversation with has always said, yeah, come in.
Yeah.
Because that's, again, part of the culture is welcoming and wanting to teach people and all
And
that kind of
not
stuff.
all agencies are that way.
No.
No.
Yeah. I've
There-
only worked
there-
in one agency, so I can't speak to that.
There
But
are some that just are head down and they're getting work done.
yeah.
And they don't want to take the time to do that.
Right.
So I would say there's an element of that's a compliment to the quality of people
Yeah.
that will take the time. But here's the deal: they get it.
Right.
Right?
They've been in your shoes.
The up and coming designers 5 years from now aren't up and coming.
Right.
They're the meat and potatoes of what you're doing. And if you can invest in that, a smart business owner, and I would classify Eddie as one of them,
Yep.
Yeah.
he's gonna recognize that.
Yeah.
And hey, if I can utilize that, help you grow,
Power to you.
win.
Yep. You hit on one interesting thing that I want to call out. If you invite someone in the industry to go get coffee and talk to you about what they do, buy their coffee.
Yeah.
Yes, buy the
Like,
coffee.
I can't tell you how many times I've shown up and they're sitting there drinking coffee and they're like, "Well, are you going to get anything?"
Yikes.
And it's like, I mean, yeah, that's like it's
I'll go get it.
$2, whatever.
Okay,
Like,
so-
yeah, but
That was the first
It's-
thing that someone had
it's
told
an
me.
impression.
it's an
Yes.
impression,
Yeah.
exactly.
You just
Making.
did
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah, it's understanding
It's your
that,
work.
that it's worth the $2 or $4 or whatever
$5,
because
$6,
you are getting an hour of someone's time that they could be at the office.
I remember that I used to be terrified that they'd get there before me and order before me and buy their own coffee. So I used to get there like 20 minutes ahead of time just so I would be there to buy their coffee because I'm like, this is a make or break. If
Yeah.
I don't buy their coffee, then I already.
But you-
Yeah,
But
that
again,
goes back to what Jody said,
get
though.
it.
Like, just you getting it and you,
Yeah.
like...
Not everybody gets it.
No.
Yeah.
They're getting lost on the hour of time. The hour of time is this much of it. The big picture is what's the impression, and that's the start. That's
Don't
the
forget.
doorway, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget to be
They like
human.
know nothing about you at that point. Like
And to be really honest,
had a LinkedIn message and that's about it.
It is an inconvenience of my time that I'm willing to go. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is.
Probably my
It's not
lunch
like
hour.
It's not like I have nothing to do, but at
Right.
the same time,
Yeah.
I could.
I still want to get out there.
I
and do that.
enjoy doing it because it's a chance for me to scout some talent,
Yeah.
especially like future talent.
Yeah.
Also,
Absolutely.
a chance for me to step away from the office, and like I always appreciate when I get asked a bunch of questions that I don't immediately have an answer for.
Yeah.
Well, but
I think the
what are those
questions,
questions?
Yeah. What are those questions? I used to have to sit and brainstorm because I'm like, obviously you want to be in a position where you can ask them those kinds of questions that stumps them. And they're like,
It
oh,
shows
shit,
that
what do
you
I say to this?
Put thought into it before you showed up.
And a lot of times what I would do is look at the website of whatever company they're working for or whatever, look at their portfolio and pick out specific projects, name those projects by title.
Yeah.
And ask them, I noticed, like, as from a design standpoint, I would say this element of this campaign that you did used a watercolor technique. What was your inspiration behind that? How did you get to that point? You know, like when you have, I guess it's just like nitpicking those details. I'd be like, well,
It shows that you
Stitches of the
did
baseball, baby.
30
Yes.
seconds of research.
Stitches of the
full
baseball.
circle.
Yep.
That's
Full
exactly
circle.
what it is.
Yeah. I don't want to feel like you just randomly picked my name off of a website and
Right.
I'm the person who said yes.
You saw me
Yeah.
on your suggested
Exactly.
LinkedIn connections.
And send a thank you.
Thank you,
Like,
cards.
Yeah, thank you. Handwritten thank you cards.
Yes.
I have a few that I've gotten over the years, and I'm like, I will never forget those people.
You can even make it.
I don't care
Yeah.
if you send.
You
like,
can
if you
make
send me
a
a
card.
thank you email. That's fine. Like,
Yeah.
you at least took that step. But a handwritten thank you
But
card.
that,
That's
dude,
just
that is
extra.
the details.
Yep.
That's it.
And say things
You're-
in the card
Oh,
from the
not-
conversation.
thanks.
Really
I
enjoyed
enjoyed hearing about
Hope your coffee was
thought
good.
process.
You really did change my perspective on it.
Hoped you like your latte. Like,
Yeah. No, it's.
So can you Venmo me for that?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's my Venmo.
Oh, God.
Cash App also accepted.
Whoa.
I always tell people that I have coffee with that it's like, hey, one, I mean, great if they're asking about positions. I usually don't have, like, we work in an industry where odds are we're going to hire for a position we need to fill as opposed to, especially if it's a student. Like, it's sometimes we'll get an opportunity person that comes in from another market where it's like, yeah, we need to swoop this person up. But
Right.
engage to the point where it's like, shoot me a friend request on Facebook, because guess what? I'm posting jobs or sharing like
Yeah.
other people's jobs.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the now. Yeah.
Like,
Now you're in the conversation.
yeah. So just figure out how you can get in contact with me after the hour that we spend. And like, if I see a job at another agency that makes sense, I'm going to send it to you. If I think you're a good fit for it, because it doesn't matter to me that an agency down the street is hiring for a position that I'm not hiring for. And like, I can't hold that against someone. And I would rather have someone that I've like engaged with get some experience, and then maybe 3 years down the road when I need to hire,
Hey.
they now have
Come
an
on
extra
over.
3 years of relevant experience.
It is
Yeah.
not a sprint.
No.
It is, and this Eddie says this
Like
all the
the
time.
longest mile you've ever
It
ran
is
in your
a
life.
marathon.
Yeah.
And it is, if you're intentional about building those bridges and building those connections, they will pay off. Because sometimes it's not even employee based. Sometimes it's client based.
Yeah.
And if you get a good recommendation, they're like, you know what? We just don't really click. But these guys down the street, you'll click with them actually really, really well. We would highly recommend that you contact them.
Yeah.
And again, that's forwarding progress for the whole industry, because I want to work with clients that help me as a creative do my best work.
Yep.
And there are clients that are not that best fit. There are clients that want
True.
not the best option.
Right.
And that is, I said this the other day, I hate polishing turds, man. Let me do something amazing. Let's break through the clutter and let's make a successful campaign. Have the courage to do that. And sometimes the right fit, you need that.
And I want to speak to that. Even, I mean, it's going to step away from, the agency life.
No, it's all good.
It's speaking back to an internship I did in the finance industry. I did an internship once and was as a financial intern for being an actual financial advisor, and life insurance is the start of it. And one of my mentors said, and it will stick with me forever, no matter where I go, what I do, is, it's not always a good fit. Not every client is a good client. And, and in that case, it was a little bit more personable because I wasn't, doing marketing for a whole business. It was us taking care of financials for an individual. And sometimes, you can do the job, you can make money off of them, but if they're going to be a pain in the ass, or if they're a douche or you're a douche, or you just have different,
Such a great word.
It is.
It really is.
If you just have different views in life and you're just not gonna, you just naturally clash, because it happens. There's people out there that you naturally clash with.
I can see that
90% of people.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And it happens. And it's just being able to, have the knowledge and getting it to be able to walk away.
For sure.
And it's,
Well, and everybody wins.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody else gets the business. You get it off your plate. They can respect you for
Communicating.
Yeah.
because they're going to be like, oh yeah,
This
I
isn't gonna be
love
a
this
fit.
person. Thank you for. They're not going to look at it and go, yeah, we were a horrible fit. They're going to look at the positive side of it and be like, yeah, this new person's amazing. They're
recommend.
great.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get some of the credit for that rather than the blame.
Exactly. It's like, oh, he didn't want to work with me. it
Or
goes
did
farther
he?
than that.
Yeah.
You could just be a whole lot smarter. It's constructive criticism. You're not
Love
an
it.
idiot. You could just be a lot smarter.
Just have potential.
Right. So much potential.
Bless your little heart.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think that pretty much.
Yeah, I think
Well,
we're
wraps it up.
we're running a little long here. So thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for being here on the first time on the podcast.
And thank
we
you for
will-
loving John Wick.
and
And
yes.
rom-coms.
And
We bonded.
rom-coms.
We bonded right there.
Oh my gosh.
The Venn
happy.
the Venn diagram of bonding. John Wick.
We might need to do like
Jody,
a John Wick
Isabel,
watch
John
party.
Wick.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Movie
He's
night.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I love that idea.
And then rom-com to calm it down at the end.
I'm all in.
Sounds like team building to me.
Team
Let's do
building.
it.
Culture.
All right, guys. Follow us on @AdSquawkPod on all the socials. Chirp at us using #AdSquawk. Send us comments, questions.
5-star.
5-star reviews, all of them. Please.
And
Please.
thank you.
And thank you. All right.
And compliments.
We're a good
welcome.
fit.
Yep.
We're a good fit.
All right. Join the flock. Till next time.
Thanks, Mark.